going on, everyone? I think it's time for me to make another pizza. So I got a dough here. I got the dough from Wegmans. My pizza pan is a 12-inch, like you get a small pizza. It's going to be about that size. Large is about 16 inches. So you get a dough from somewhere. I mean, if you're at a pizzeria, you got your own place, you know how much your dough has to weigh. So you make your big batch of dough, and then you cut off pieces till they weigh that much, and they all weigh the same. But when you get one from Wegmans, I mean, this is going to be like a 16-inch pizza. I'm not making one that big, and I don't know how much I got to cut off. So what I'm going to do is just stretch it out, and then I'll trim around the edges. I got my pan greased here. So when you have your dough, take 2 hands, press down. That's going to get your initial dough stretch rather than pulling it and ripping it. So it really depends on how thin you want your dough to be, how thin you want your pie to be. So I'm going to get this nice and stretched out here to a large degree before I put it on my pizza pan. When I put it on my pizza pan, since it's greased on it, I just took a stick of butter, threw it in the microwave for 10 seconds, and ran it all over the pan. Sometimes you can use Crisco or whatever else you might have, especially if you're at your own joint where you make pizzas all the time, like some of you people. That's not me, but. So we'll take our pie here, and I'm going to get a paper towel and wipe off the flour, because one thing you didn't see in one of my previous mistakes, not mistakes, but I left the flour there. Put the pizza pan on there, the flour got the bottom of the pizza pan in the oven. Flour burning, it's bad, I thought we were gonna start a fire. So we'll stretch this baby out. Now I know this dough is too big. I could stretch it just to the edge if I wanted to. I want to get it a little over the edge and trim some off of it. Don't want to pull it too much. Again, you don't want to see through it. You don't want to be translucent. You don't want to rip your dough and put holes in it. Dough is pretty forgiving though. So I'm going to get it up and over the edges. I'm going to take my scissors. Trim some off. Not too worried about how much I take off here, because I can always stretch it back to the edges. I should probably make my own dough and see how much it needs to weigh, because next time I get a pizza dough, I can weigh it, and then I can just cut a slice off of it, and then I just know what it needs to weigh for my pizza pan based on the thickness that I want. So this is good. Go right to the edges here. All right. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna throw it in the oven for about half a minute. Get a nice little warmth to the top of it. Nice and warm business. I'm gonna make a steak pie today. You've seen in other pizzas that I made, I've explained, different bases. You can have a red sauce base, which is your typical, or you can have an oil base, which is your white pizza, and some similar veggie pizzas like that, or you can have some sort of a cream sauce base. I made that white wine cream sauce that one time. Was really good. But I'm gonna make this just like a white pizza. I'm gonna take some olive oil, a little more, some garlic, not too oily, but that brush here. With too much oil, you're gonna have pools of oil when you're done, but you definitely want to get your oil out to the edges, and your garlic as well. So the white pizza, my base is olive oil, garlic. I'm even gonna add a little bit more garlic powder, some Parmesan cheese, some oregano, and then a little bit of Fontina cheese. Fontina cheese is pretty strong, so not too much of it, but So we'll go with some oregano. A little more garlic powder because garlic always requires more garlic. A little bit of fontina cheese. We're going to go light on this. And with your steak pizza, think Philly cheesesteak. You got your mushrooms, onions, peppers, either sweet peppers or hot peppers, whatever you want. As far as steak is concerned, you want something tender. Sirloin steak, you might find the shaved steak, the wafer thin steak, that's usually going to be sirloin steak. I got a small sirloin steak here, and I cooked it. It's medium rare, medium. You want to, if you're at a pizzeria or a restaurant, you got a pizza oven. The steak is going to cook, or the pizza is going to cook for about 10 minutes, and it's going to cook your steak as well in the process, depending on how thick it is. But you want to gauge your toppings based on your oven. My oven's not going to cook the steak in that short period of time, so I did a quick cook in the cast iron skillet of the steak, and it'll finish off. So at least if it was done now, I'd still eat it. It's about medium rare now, so it should probably be about medium when it's done. And if you're using a sirloin steak, you definitely have to tenderize it, or it's going to be too tough. And you want your pieces pretty small too, no matter what. No matter what kind of steak you're using, if it's not shaved steak. So we'll cut the rest of the steak here. Good right there. A little Parm cheese on here. And I've got some onions. I did the same thing with the onions. I fried up the onions just a little bit. I didn't want them to go in here raw, but I also didn't want to caramelize them or make them too sauteed. Just enough onion on here. And some banana pepper. A little bit of pepper juice doesn't hurt. You can drain it if you like. Just make sure with your peppers, get rid of the stems, get rid of the seeds. No one wants to chew on those. A little more. And then we'll top it off with mozzarella. Just some shredded mozzarella today. Not too heavy. We got the fontina in there. Now I've got my oven heated up to about 450, 500. I've got my pizza stone in there as well. So I'm gonna throw this in there. Once I see the cheese all melted, start to get golden brown, I'm gonna push this pizza onto the pizza stone so the bottom can cook. Check it out in a few minutes. It's game time so far. Got our pie on the pizza pan in the oven at about 450 for about 10 minutes. And then decked it off the pizza pan onto the pizza stone for about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's go get it. How's that look? Look all right? Give it a slice. Hear that crunchy bottom? Ready? Let's give this a shot.